Hey everybody, Johnny Vanderford here, Lorain County Community College's MEMS and Microelectronics Manufacturing Program, as well as Merit Manufacturing Electronics and Rework Institute for Training. I am updating a recipe on my automated optical inspection system. We have an Omron automated optical inspection system, the VT-S730, fantastic, 2D and 3D and everything like that. But you know what just happened? I was making a board last year and had all these components on it, and now some of those components look a little bit different in terms of what they do. The board itself hasn't really changed all that much. In fact, my board from last year, which this is what we give to our first year students for testing and troubleshooting. Believe it or not, the board is built correctly, but it's built actually with purposeful defects into it, which has a whole bunch of just 1206 resistors and voltage regulators, nothing fancy with it on there at all. However, the components that I was using last year are different in terms of what they look like than the components this year. For instance, the 1206 1 mega ohm resistors last year said 105 across it, and this year they say 1004 across it, which those two, us electrical people, we know that's exactly the same. Well, they're the same ideal values, tolerances aside and everything like that, but ultimately in the end, I want to use the updated values. So I've got to update my program using the AOI system for this. So I've actually just put in, we just manufactured in our lab today 2 brand new panels by having the students actually run them here. The students in our 3rd year of our college program actually ran the whole thing with that. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, I'm going to, at this point here, eject the last panel coming out the side with that one here. I'm going to turn to my screen here. I'm going to exit out of making my adjustment stuff. It says there's all kinds of problems with this on here. This is actually for a program that, it says, these components are not the correct component associated with that. They need to be changed. They need to be different in terms of what's there. And so we're actually going to do that right now. I'm going to exit out of the program that I'm at with this here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what some of our programs are for that. I'm going to edit the program that we are currently using for this board. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock everything and then come over here to my my confirm results area for this, and I'm going to test one of the newer boards. I'm going to test one of the boards that's actually very, very new for this. That has a brand new component. That 1 mega ohm component, in fact, is actually what we're going to test with this here. So after it's tested all the components out with the pre-programmed information with it, it says, oh, what do you know? Every single one of them is all wrong with this one right here. This one actually, in fact, it says they're all wrong. They're all supposed to be this 1000 component for that. And what we're actually going to do is we'll fix this one. This is our 100 ohm component. I'm actually going to go into the criteria settings for this component right here, and it's saying they're all the wrong component. They don't match up at all with what they're supposed to match up with this here, and that's because I need to update the mask model for this, which is considered to kind of be like the ideal component that this is going to be compared to. So I'm going to pick a good one. Let's see, that one, which one of these be good with that? That one right there. That one looks perfectly fine. No, actually, we'll pick one. This one. No, that's kind of curved. That one's like a little there. Yeah, that one's fine. So I'm going to make this one the new mask model is what this one's going to be. This 1000 is going to be the new mask model associated with this. I'll keep the old one there too. Maybe I find that's the old one that's there. The old one I have is 101. Well, that's 100 ohms, but this one's also a 100 ohm. It just happens to be the one that I've got with it here. So I'm going to say, you know what, for this new one right here, use a blue light on there. Let's clear out the box. I want to look for all of that, not just tighten around with it there. All right, we're going to use that there. We're going to look for, maybe not the green one. Let's red light. It looks a little messy there. Blue, and we'll shorten the brightness down to maybe around like 29 for that there. And what we were having problems with this because it wasn't identifying where those components were. I'm going to retest it again with the new conditions. And now they are all passing, all of them blue at that point there. So now we are in good shape. I'm going to update a few more components on this program and then release it for the students to be able to use. So that way we have a new updated part to that there. That's how we do an adjustment image for many different types of parts, because that's important. One part may need to be updated. It might be different. The chip might have a different batch number on there. It might have been purchased from a different vendor with this. And the AOI programmer has to be very much so aware, because it can be very confusing to the operator in the AOI station, who may not necessarily have a strong background in circuit boards every single time. And they may look at that and be like, well, the right one should say 101, but I see ones that say 1000. Those the same with that there. That needs to be updated accordingly with that there for that. So yeah, more to come from the Lorain County Community College MEMS and Microelectronics Manufacturing Program and Merit Manufacturing Electronics and Rework Institute for Trading. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leave a like, smash the button. I don't know what people do with YouTube these days. But anyway, we will see you around on the next one, folks. See you later. Bye-bye.